So hello and welcome. It's 7 p.m. CET, wherever you are in the world. I know there are people joining from the US, from Canada, all around Europe. And let us know in the chats where you're tuning in from. I know there are many people joining us on Zoom, and there are many people who are live with us on Facebook for this Power Hour of Awareness, or as we also call it, Free Conscious Zoom with Wolfgang Sonnenburg. Before I hand over to Wolfgang, I want to invite you, if you have any questions concerning this topic, feel free to type it into the chat here on Zoom or into the comments on Facebook down under this video, and I'll try my best to organize everything and ask for you those questions to Wolfgang, so that you know that everything is answered. So enjoy, and now to you, Wolfgang. We can't hear you.
Yes. So now it should be better.
Yes.
Yes? Okay. So once again, welcome and thank you, Julia. And first of all, I'd like to explain a little bit why we're doing what we're doing here. Last year, when the Corona stuff started, here in Germany, Switzerland, Austria, we saw a lot of people getting stressed, going in survival mode. And we did some so-called free webinars, Zooms, to help them to be centered and get on with their life, maybe even better, for living from the inside out. And just a month ago, we decided to do something like this again. And so now every 7th of the month, we will have one free, we call it free conscious Zoom. And I would like here, ideally, go also in a kind of discussion with you, talking about consciousness. But as we start now, this is the first one in English, because when we did it in German on Facebook, and some people asked me, do you something in English? So we decided now these free Zooms, 1 month German language, 1 month English language. So the next one in English will be then on the 7th of March on the Winspiration Day. And for me, it's always also the question, what can I do to support people in those crises, so-called crisis, and help them to maybe use this for a jump to a better life. And more people are focusing now on the problem. And that's why we do this here. And it is for you. It's just my part, what I can do. Try, I don't know if it works. If it's helpful, we will start. But ideally, if we can create here a kind of community, seeing the world in this way different, that the world is not really changing. Some people are doing rules, and what is really inside of you. Because what's on the outside is a kind of always a fantasy. It is our judgment, what we see on the outside. Experience is always inside. So and that is what we like to really discuss, show, and understand. Don't worry, really, be happy, and let's check and talk a little bit about consciousness. As this is the first call, I prepared some thoughts to share with you, but feel free to interrupt. We can continue the next time with my charts. It's not about that I present my charts here. It's just I have the charts to maybe get it started. What about to talk? When I talk about consciousness, so the question is, what is really consciousness? And there are different reasons. I just look in Wikipedia and then you see that people then also say, what is consciousness or what is awareness? There's a difference there. Consciousness is awareness of one's body and one's environment. Is this really true? Yeah, on the, say, normal level, we talk about consciousness, about this, if in anesthesia or not really conscious or conscious, kind of alive, coma or not coma. But what I'm heading is really who we really are. So, and that is a little bit different. But we need to talk about awareness and consciousness again, because at least for a German, when you translate or look in the dictionary, consciousness and awareness can be the same translated. But there's a huge difference. Just be aware. You know, you have to say in English, oh, be aware of the dog. So it's a kind of warning also. And consciousness is never really a warning like this. So if we go here a little bit along with the definitions from the internet, from Wikipedia and other sites. So awareness is a state of being conscious of something. Yeah. And it's just what, can I recognize it? Can I see it? It's more kind of like we would say, I'm looking at the outside. Do I get it? I'm aware of my feelings. So that is not really the consciousness. And consciousness, so they say, Wikipedia, for example, it is just the awareness of internal or external existence. But it's still a kind of flat, because if we just be on, let's say, on a 3D level, three-dimensional level, then it is really true. But they not only talking about 3 levels, but these levels, what you see here, what they, I just picked it from Wikipedia or somewhere else, I don't know, the internet. So it's not really my belief. It's all okay. You can use the word different. But there's survival consciousness, what we do, and relationship, self-esteem, transformation, and you can read yourself what kind of consciousness. So this is more always consciousness target to something or in connection with something. But like I said, also, if we see only consciousness as the opposite of, okay, I just got from the doctor an injection and now I don't see anything, feel anything. That is what we normally say. But maybe you heard also people who were in a surgery and somehow they, whatever it is, left the body, and in hypnosis, they can tell you what they saw. They can tell you even what the doctors were talking about. So there is something even then, and this, like anesthesias, injection got, sorry, I'm mixing German words now, just to that they get all the information. Who is getting all the information? Who is recording it then? Then we say, oh, someone is not really conscious if he doesn't know things or if he is just ignorance. So that is also like this very short. Being aware of time and space. What is your consciousness in time and space? Like I always joke, those living on the street, the homeless people, sometimes they live under the bridge. And that what they care in space is just what is under the bridge. They don't care on the other part of the city. And time is what is in the bottle? When do I get the next food or whatever? But this is, the limited real. Then we have, maybe you heard about it, what they call spiral dynamics. It goes back to the Graves model. It was a professor, Graves, who realized that in history, the humanity always at that time had a special conscious level. They could see and think that, and this is evolving. And Ken Wilber is using it a little bit different with his integral theory, And the book was most related to it is Spiral Dynamics from Dr. Beck. And Dr. Beck was a guy who was a kind of advisor to Mandela when he came out of the prison, and everybody expected, now it's just the opposite game. Now we have the blacks, the colored people against the white people, and a war will go on, revenge, rage, and everything. But he unified the country. So this is really something. And he worked with this idea. Just shortly to explain, you see very down, maybe you can't read it, it's not, the color is a kind, they always use a beige for this. This is a survival state. Very, very early, humans were just boobs, hammering on each other, fighting each other, very brutal. And so that was a kind of me, you, Rambo level somehow. And then it evolves always to the next level. If you get problems you can't solve with the same method, then you create another consciousness to solve the problems. Like maybe you heard a sentence from Einstein who said, this mind who created the problem can't solve it. You need to go on a different level. And then comes from the just me level, oh, it's so much better if I'm not fighting alone. Let's go to a we level and build tribes and build little villages. So we can together fight against others. So that was the next step. From there, it was also then you wanted a tough king who rules a community as a kind of me level. The red level is a power level. This is like you see some people, it's not gone, even if this Graves model is more for the main consciousness of humanity at the time there is, but we all have those kind of traits still in us. And depending who is very strong on this, the whole country can be ruled like this. So the red level, we always say, is a kind of Trump level. Yeah, so it's just make America great again, we do this and everything. And then the next comes the blue level, then it's order. There is a lot of law and order. What we experience at the moment in Germany, that Corona, radical law and order, lockdown, and not really what is the best for the people. It's just a system, politics, the thinking at the moment, we have those politics mainly, who think on that level. The next level, the orange level in this color, this is more for science, and it's going for what we can do better, what can we reach. It's also what it kind of, for me, is a typical American who can be the best, go for it, washing dishes, become a millionaire. This kind of thinking, this is the orange level. And orange is again a me level. I want to be this guy. And then we realized if everybody is a rugged individual, if we only play Rambos like this, that is a hard life. So it started around the hippie area, the flower power area, to come to the next level, what we call, and interestingly, here it fits a little bit with the political parties, the green level. This is humanity and nice, kind of socialism, not the classical communist and socialism, but let's build communities. This is where in the past Scandinavia, Sweden, everything was more on this level. The problem with this level is they're just focusing, how do we feel? Is everything fine? And they're often not getting, like we say, the rubber on the street. Because that's not the focus. Even they said, okay, I saw my parents on orange and everything. They had no really a life. They were just going for material stuff. Now comes the next level, just the opposite. These are in this system, the first 6 levels. And the interesting thing is, in someone who is, or the society who lives on one level of the six has only the consciousness for that level. Like I was in a company, in a network marketing company once. He was the founder. He was more, I would say, on the green level. At least he has a green touch, or even when you come to the next, the yellow touch. We'll explain it later. And we made most volume on orange and green. That was our market. Because in the beginning of history, which is humankind, nearly everybody on planet Earth was on one level, because we very slowly moved up. But if you imagine 1960, we had 2.5 billion people on planet Earth. Just now, 60 years later, we are targeting 8 billion people. So we are not just one color level at the moment. So the majority is now blue, orange, green, and we luckily have the first who are on yellow. That's why also political parties, especially I see it in Germany, in the 1960s, we had mainly two parties because it was just black or white. Yeah, and now we have the greens, red, another red or whatever, yellows. It is more colorful today in the parliaments, different. And that's why the problem is now when you see the politics who are on the blue level in this, they can't deal with all the colors, the different solutions. They can't handle really the corona stuff in a kind of holistic way, in a kind of, oh, people are different way, because the government mainly has only two tools, those governments we have today. I can make a law that you're not allowed to, and I can deal and give you money. That's the only two things where they're working with at the moment. But if you have kind of really organism the world who are on a different level, you should work with the same, with a different approach. You see, humans are different. Humans are individuals. And then it would be so much better if governments could sit there and say, okay, we know there are different people out there, different consciousness, different situations, different countries, different cities, different businesses. How can we find a solution that is so much better than just working with law and money? But they can't think as if they are on the blue level, because they can only see this. That's why we are faced with this. And most people now, because they not really advanced in these conscious levels, so easy get manipulated into fear. But it's just the way we have to deal with some rulers who don't have what we call now the integral understanding. Because when we go on the seventh level here, the yellow, and then from there the turquoise, this is the first level in this conscious level. They can see all the others. They can integrate it all. And thus you have also, if you look at companies, if you have a boss, a classical patriarch, it says, in my company, we do that. He can only live with a special type of employees. But like millennials today, they function totally different. It's not about, I want to have a job for the next 40 years. So people are different. And those who understand the yellow, the integral level, they can help that everybody finds a place. And we see companies who run by yellow consciousness, or Ken Wilber, or there's a book out there from Lalou, the teal competence, reinventing organizations. These are the most profitable companies who can do this. So for us, it's important. That's why the question, where are you? From where are you communicating? And it's really interesting also, we always get the idea, if you want to start a business, who is your avatar, what is your target customer, but very rarely you see that they talk about the conscious level. So you need to also, recommend, be clear on which level are you. And so that was a little bit side turn here, as to say a little bit about Corona, but it's not just consciousness itself. Then I would like to give you another understanding about how you can see conscious levels. This is from Michael Beckwith. Most of you know him through the film The Secret. There was the guy with these long hair, the black hair. At the moment, he has no hair. He cut them all off, the Rasta girls. But he invented created the spiritual church in LA, this is the Agape Center. And he sees the conscious level of people just simple in 4 stages. Like the first one is like where we all come from. We don't understand the world out there. We just focus on the outside and we are the victims. The world is happening to me. We still have this. Boss, you should do. Doctor, you should help me. Partner, you should make me happy. And everything is happening to me. And a lot of people went there again or realized that they're still there in Corona. Government, do this. Give me injections, do this. Everything from the outside. And they go in fear because of the outside. The outside, the media, whatever. And they don't understand yet that they create the fear, because everything what happens inside is created by yourself. What is on the outside is just what you take and judge it, and then you create the inside. I guess you heard it often. So the next level is what you hear, just kind of secret, more secret stuff. If you really want, you can get it. Make your vision board, the goal, and so collage. And that is, I decide what will happen. Where my willpower is, so the next level is from me. So first, towards me, then from me. And here comes then the third level. The more you understand how the universe works, the more you understand what energy is, what is flying around, then you understand there is not just energy going from me, energy is everywhere and is also through me. If you change your frequency at the radio, music is coming to you. It's not coming only from you, at least with the radio. You can make music. And this is a totally different thing. I think a lot of you are familiar with Bob Proctor. He always says, don't ask God to do something for you, what he only can do through and with you. And those people, they live so much more aligned, connected with the conscious field. They live by inspiration. Inspiration, not just by power, willpower, by inspiration. There are people who never ever would do a vision board because they say, why should I limit myself? It's only what I know, but I want the best. So I go with inspiration. And in spirit means also from the inside out. This is a level really living from the inside out. So they don't care so much what is happening now outside. They get inspiration what they can do. And you see, even so-called crisis, when business goes down, there are others who create fortunes. So much more money is possible if we just look at the money part. So there's always a social. The next part, the stage 4, is that we understand it's not just me, I'm not the single person in the universe. We all are one. We are just one family. And that is part of why I'm doing this, because we see it in America, because I guess nearly everybody could see what happened in the election, Trump with Biden or Republican Democrats, that we suddenly get two parties in the country, and you see how they're fighting each other. This is crazy. We should all live together in a kind of paradise. We all should understand that we are one family. For my opinion, when we have this Black Lives Matters, oh gosh, every life matters. So don't make it just for one color. Then you start also be part of those who create this separation thing. And this is so important. I showed you this to make you more and more aware. Those who are in fear or having problems are people who have an identification with something, with their belief, with an idea. You can see sometimes if there is a sport, a football game, or whatever sport it is, then you see if the one team lost, they can cry. There's so much, but nothing happened to them. It happened only to their belief. If something, a vase drops and is broken, yeah, it can be really sad that the wonderful vase is broken, but you're still whole. You're not broken. So really feel the difference, what is hurting me and what is on the outside. And that is what people, when they learn, I am not my body. I am not my emotions. I have a body. I have emotions. I have a job. Like a lot of people say, I am a doctor. No, you're not a doctor. You, whoever you are, and you at the moment have the profession as a doctor. And if you go in this, really the separation, who is me, the real me, and we want to come to this, what is the real me, the real you, and then you play doctor, you do doctor, then you see it's a totally different way of living. Body, emotions. We will come to the question, who are you? Who are you really if you're not your body? And why you can't be the body? Why is it wrong to say, I am my body? Like Bob always, Bob says, nobody says, I'm my body. Yeah, but why you feel like it? Just for the start, what you can observe can't be you. You are the observer. If you can observe your body, if you can observe your emotions, you can't be the body. You can't be the emotions. So, what is a true identity? What is your true self? What is it really? Is this the mind, the thoughts? Can't be, because you can observe what you're thinking. If you can observe your thoughts, you can't be your thoughts. You have thoughts. So you are something behind the thoughts. And somehow you can say, simply for now, I am the observer. I can see my thoughts. Deepak Chopra once, when I talked with him, told me, just, if you can see your sentence up there, you know, between the words, there is space. Go through the space behind the words and look from there. And then you see, if you go backwards, behind it, wow, I can do this. What happens in dreams? Did you ever have the feeling you left your body? You can't leave your body if you're the body. So who are you and what is to take care? If we look at so-called quantum soup, or making it simple, But we know if you take plants, if you take animals, if you take humans, they all made out of molecules, atoms, electrons. And this is all, you can bring this all down to even smaller pieces. If it's quarks, if it's strings or whatever. Everything comes out of the quantum soup. Every human being comes out of the quantum soup. Or like someone said, look at the globe, the ocean. There you have the feeling there are islands. But just imagine we take all the water away. Then there's no island really anymore. It's just one planet Earth with, there are some hills, some valleys. Just because we put water in, we think this is an island, separated from the rest. No, we just don't see the connection. And that's why we are all one. We all come from the same source. So what is your true identity then? Maybe you think about what would happen after death. We all know all what we in life accumulated. The cars, the money, the houses, whatever we and material stuff, we can't take it with us. That's why, don't get me wrong, I want to not say you shouldn't go for it. Go for as much as you want. And maybe, you know, I wrote a book, Better the Whole World Against Me Than My Soul. And I say, get rid of everything if you need it for your self-esteem, to feel you're valuable. You're always enough with nothing as a human being. And if you're there, then get everything what you have fun with. Drive a Bentley, do everything. But hopefully you don't need it, and you easily feel it if you don't need to be seen with it. And then enjoy it. Then really enjoy it. And understand there is life, and then there's stuff we use in life. It took me a while to understand this. I once was in San Diego visiting Deepak Chopra. And at that time, I was really shocked. I came to his house, and guess what? It was a huge villa. I don't know really what I expected, but a spiritual guy in a huge villa in a wonderful residential area, that was not on my mind. And I asked him, how can you do that with all this stuff? And I met him, I asked him this in Stockholm when I met him. He had a speech there, and it was in the best hotel of the town. I said, you have this villa, you go in the best hotel of the town. How can a spiritual person do that? You can do everything, but don't be attached. Use it. Use it if it's there, but don't be attached. So it's what we need to learn. We are not defining us about the material stuff because we can't take it with us. So what is our true nature? What is our true nature, which allows us to play with all the material stuff, play the business, use the business? And the simple answer, and that's why I call it here conscious call, is we could simply say we are pure consciousness. We are not our body, we are not our emotions. And the whole universe is energy. And the energy is partly as organized at frequencies and information on it. And with our consciousness, we create forms. That's what we form. So we are pure consciousness. And if you then look what pure consciousness is, this is our spiritual essence. So, and that means infinite. The life of the body has an end, but we have no end. I see it simply, you're the driver of a car, and one day the car is gone, but the driver is still alive. The car can be broken, but the driver can be still healthy. And there's no limitations. No limitations. And all those people who I met who have so much more understanding there. And the more I go this direction, it's incredible. It is so easy to experience pure joy. It's not depending on whatever material stuff to have. I love to fly first class because it's so much more comfortable. But I don't need it, and I am not. But Dalai Lama is flying first class. Sadhguru is flying business or first class. Why not? Sadhguru, by the way, people ask him, tell him he can't be a real yogi because he is also driving motorbikes and playing golf and so on. And he says, you stupid people. Yeah, a few hundred years ago, a yogi was not driving a motorbike. You know why? There were no motorbikes. So get rid of this image of that. So just especially Corona here, understand this simple thing. And maybe you heard of Viktor Frankl, also wrote a book, Life of Meaning. And he was in a concentration camp. And that's maybe tougher than a lockdown we have. He was in the Nazi concentration camp. And he said, okay, they have the power to control my body, where I can be, but they can't control what's going on inside. Inside, they have no power. It's only me. Mandela, in this 27 years in the prison, in this little cell, has this, he says he survived also with this poem, I'm the captain of my soul. And we all are this, we all have the possibility and the responsibility what's going on inside of us. And this, with the 3 columns here, is the symbol, or can have a good picture to remember. And in the middle is the free space. I was not told in my childhood that I have a free space, that I can react like I want to react or respond to whatever my dad wanted or the teacher wanted. They didn't teach me about free space. They just wanted their react. If they worked with guilt, with and saying, if you're not, we'll punish you. So when it's stress based, there's a kind of blackmailing or whatever, how old education was. They trained me to react. And that is what we're happening now in Corona times again. If you're not, you get that. If you're not, you get that. And not teaching us about free space. But if you want to be free, you need to discover the free space and live there. Because this is a space where there's no fear. Because fear is always the attachment to beliefs and everything. And from there, you can take all the time you want to think, let's reflect. How do I want to respond? That is why it's so important. So, but to really live from the inside out, that's why it says in forgiveness. You only can live in the free space really free if you forgive all other people, whatever they did, what you believed or whatever. Not because you like it now or whatever happened, know that you're free, that your no energy is connected to the past. Because if you can't forgive, you're stuck in the past. You're stuck with whatever happened there. And they control your feelings. If this person or this situation, you're reminded and boom, you're not free. You need to be neutral, able to be neutral in the free space. So understand this, and if you're free and not on the hook of whatever things, then you can be really a creator. Like Bob says, competition is for amateurs, creation is for the professionals. So really a professional life is free. Deal with what's real and create whatever you want. So what really important is there is the understanding that we should live from the inside out. Anyway, we can't really do it different. We just have the illusion we do it different, because all experience what we have is inside. You don't see me on the screen, you see me in your head. Well, we learned to see and learn what distance is and get the idea, there is someone outside. But you see me inside. All the feelings you have now, if you like what I say, if you don't like it, if it's boring or whatever, or exciting, it's all in you. It's all in you, what it's triggering. That's why forgiveness, otherwise you're stuck on the outside. You're permanently connected with the outside. Morphogenetic fields, subpersonalities. You create a subpersonality, a persona. You are not. Like you are not the doctor, you are not the pet. You are you, whatever you want to be, and learn to respond. And then it says, live consciously, not just on the 3D, three-dimensional level. There are more. There is this idea and intention level. What is the real intention? And now you see it maybe in Facebook or somewhere posting. Now we reach a time where we from the 4th dimension also can understand the 5th dimension. Yeah, but a lot of those who say that get the illusion that they don't need to care about the first 3. Wrong. You still live in the 3-dimensional level. Your house is still on the 3D level. Your kids are on a 3D level. You need to make food on a 3D level. But maybe you see more. The conscious is growing. The area of your conscious is growing. So I understand that. But if you understand that there are more dimensions, and I don't know what the last is, what the physics or whatever all the wise guys say, at least what I heard is 18 dimensions. 18. So don't get stuck on the 3D level. Just being on a 3D level is a hard level. There is a hard work. There you need so much willpower. But creation out of the quantum soup, that is so much easier, creating something new. Just learn it. And that's why we talked about you can't, whatever material stuff you create, you can't take it with you when you leave your body here. So learn to play on the 3D level. Whatever you want. It's just fun. Play with it. Like the kids. Play, build something, and have it easy. If we understand that all and could live it, that we are pure consciousness, that we, in this way, like God, the energy is flowing through you. Yeah? It's flowing through us. We are not asking them, do something for me. We understand what we're thinking is creating the morphogenetic fields. The conscious field is really created by us. So it's in an interdependency, not dependency, interdependent. I work on the field and the field works on me. And there is everything. If you understand, what some people say the past creates your presence because you had this life, that's why you need to understand why I'm like this. Some say exactly the opposite, and check it for yourself. You in your presence now create the past. Every time you create a new past. How? Why? To check. Just imagine something happened when you were 5 years old. How you judged this. When you're 10 years old and looking back to this experience, 5 years, what happened there, how you judge it then. And now maybe 20 years, 30, or in my case, over 60 years looking back of something happened, I give them a totally different meaning. A lot of things, I give them a totally different meaning. And we create the present, the past, and that means, if you understand that in all the, we say, positivity, the future creates the present. No, I can't mean, no, in the present we create your future, huh? No, it's not totally true. The future you decide creates your present. How can that be? Now, first of all, we could discuss, is there a future, is there a present, is there a past? Time is just one dimension. But simple thing, you want to lose weight. So if you make a decision in 20 years, I want to have lost 10 kilos. You have 20 years for that. What can happen in between? You can gain 50 kilos. Because in 20 years you want to have less. If you say, oh, summer is coming, in 2 months I want the super bikini body and I've lost 10 kilos. Will it affect the presence if you say 2 months or 20 years? Your picture of the future, your decision for the future really change the presence. Your picture of the future is now really influencing the day you live. How you live is because you think I can't this or I want that. So the future is really, so change your future and your present will change. So if we all understand this, like it here in the chart is, then we understand that we are permanently creating our life. And if we all would understand this, we really could together create paradise on planet Earth. Okay, there's a question.
Yes, there is a question. If we understand the free space and time to respond, but others close to us do not, family members, for example, how would you recommend to help them and guide them?
Why do you think you need to help them? What is the belief you need to do this? Why do you think you need to work on the outside? Maybe you not using really your free space. Maybe there's guilt feelings if you're not doing it. There is a spiritual law of not to interfere, because there's also something, maybe you don't love yourself enough. Can you love yourself if you not do something? Or you only can love yourself if you do help others? So then you're not loving yourself. That is a really condition. Only if I'm doing this, I'm okay. So the first thing is you need to love yourself and be okay. Because if you have not the feeling you are okay, how can you have the idea what I'm doing is really helping the other people? The other part is, if you think they are not okay, I need to help them. First of all, you say, I'm better, I can help. They are the victims, I can help. If you help, you create normally victims. I'm stronger, I'm better, I know more. But you're also saying, you are not okay. I just can't love you because you're not using your free space. You're judging. So as long as you do this, you're not totally using your free space. Yogananda once said, what you need to learn for this, it's like going in a movie. And this movie is about war and pain and a lot of tragedies and all bad stuff. And then you go out of the movie, can you say, wow, that was really a good movie, well made? Then you're free. It's just a movie. And most of this, what we see there, and is a movie, because it's our judgment, again, if we suffer in the movie or if we suffer here. And you don't help other people. You don't have poor people if you're poor, you don't have sick people if you're sick, and you don't help other people who are not using the free space if you're not using your free space.
So there's a similar question, but I want to ask it as well. If someone has not read or studied personal development, how would you introduce it to them? They desire all the stuff, money and time freedom, but don't believe that is possible.
Yeah, there's a different part of it. First of all, why do I need? What do you want from them? And check. Most people, I've been there. I think I need to help other people. I need to help other people. I need to do this and that. Guess what was the real reason? I didn't dare to live up to my dreams. So I tried to help others to go, that they go for the dream. And if they all go for the dream, maybe I get the permission to go also for my dream. I was raised with a lot of guilt, so I didn't allow myself to go there. And I was once in a seminar, it was called Leaders with Heart. And there was a situation, it was a 5-day seminar. Situation, I needed to come in front of the group, and the facilitator asked me something, and should I introduce myself a little bit. And I had a saying, because my name is Sonnenburg, so that means sun castle. So I had a saying, I'm Wolfgang Sonnenburg, and helping people on the sunny side of life. That was a slogan. And when I was in the seminar, it was a very emotional, deep-going seminar. Maybe it was the 3rd day. I stand in front of the group and says, I'm Wolfgang Sonnenburg, and I want also to go on the sunny side of life. And then I realized, gosh, shit, I'm having this. Instead of that, I go on the other side. I'm so busy tricking myself. I need to push others to something. And I don't ask them if they want. I think for myself, you should do more personal development. You should do more this, because you're not okay if you're not doing it. The spiritual law of not to interfere says, help only if they ask you to help. Just work with their intrinsic motivation. So if there is a situation where you can ask them, do you want to get out? Which they maybe they're saying something, oh, I don't like this and that. Do you really would love to have a different? So that's why it's also, life is so much better if you ask questions. So if they ask you, do you really want my help? Do you really want what I think about it? Then you get an invitation. And then there's anyway a better chance. And I really recommend a book. I just did a short webinar about the book, The 6 Questions of Instant Influence. Really help people to connect with their intrinsic motivation. The rest is manipulation, or you misuse them for your belief. And get rid of all fear and lack of. If I don't get this employee to work for me, oh shit, then I don't have anything, and then my company is going bankrupt. Then you manifesting the lack of. There's no lack in the universe, lack of. There is abundance. There's a saying in English proverb, he took from abundance, and what was left, abundance. Does this help, or otherwise, please ask again?
So if there are any questions, we have 5 minutes left to answer them for you. So feel free to write in the comments on Facebook if you're joining there, or here in the chat on Zoom.
You can prepare questions also in advance for the 7th of May. Yeah, and if you speak and understand German, then the 7th of April is also possible to send out.
Or otherwise, on Facebook, the video, the live stream will stay there. So if there are some questions popping up later, of course, write them down in the comments and we'll answer there.
Yeah, and here we have another chart. So if you get it, so whatever happens outside of you, if they don't want to do personal development or whatever happens there, you focus on your emotions, intentions, willpower, and energy only on what you want for you. And that means not I focus on they should do development. Then you interfere. Then you start to misuse. Focus on humanity on a higher level and be detached from the outcome of this person is doing it. We can't go for the idea of free will. We can't go for the idea of democracy if we tell other people, you should think like this, you should vote like this, you should do personal development, otherwise I can't love you. Then you need to expect also and accept also that other people tell you how you should be, that you are not okay. And that is what we, I think, should have as a better world, that everybody can choose what is in their personal best interest. When I say I came on planet Earth as an apple, as a fruit, whatever fruit you are you a banana, are you a kiwi? So focus on how can you be the best banana, how you can be the best apple, and let the other fruits be the best of whatever they want. And if they don't want to be the best fruit, it's up to them. But don't take the energy away from your best fruit. And like Marianne Williamson with the poem, our deepest fear is not we think we are mediocre. Our deepest fear is that we are full of power beyond measure. And that we need to get rid of the idea that by playing small, we help others, yeah, that they are not so afraid. No, we need to live the natural full power we have, not to impress others, because it's our natural. And this gives others a permission to do it as well. You know, there's a law of thermophysics. If you have hot water and just have one drop of cold water and put it in the hot water, you don't find the cold drop anymore. It soon will be hot. So you don't need to tell them, you drop there, you should be hot. If the environment is right, they adjust. So if you create a community where people love to develop personal development, there's only two things possible. They go far away, the others, from you. It's like any organism. If you have something what is not good for you, it comes out, like pimples or whatever, it goes out of your organism, if your organism is healthy. So focus on a healthy organism. But most people then surround, if they feel how you develop, how much joy you have, how much material stuff you have, they will mostly ask, can I join? So if there is not another question, then I just can say 7th of May again. We have another talk. And thank you for listening and staying with me all the time. And as I did it the first time here, and we don't know each other, I don't know your level of knowledge, wisdom, topics, problems in this case. So I just created the presentation for today. So feel free for the 7th of May, send me questions, ideas, what you would love to. And if you like it, spread it around, that we create more people who are going in this field, because if we all understand it, we together can create paradise on planet Earth. If we understand this. So thank you very much. Thank you, Julia, for organizing it, supporting it. And I wish you a wonderful rest of the Sunday, a new week, and a wonderful time until we see us again. Thank you. I'll just